Are we? Okay. That's the intro. Welcome to No More Heroes. Some animal attacked someone, I guess. Pat, go ahead.
I'm an expert.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. This week on No More Heroes, we have resident animal attack expert Pat George.
Murder.
What murder? Wait, were we joking about that?
Yeah, I can't remember who we were. It was, I think Lemaire said something, what about, or he said that, and then he said, what murder?
Yeah, we were talking about someone.
Luigi.
Such a funny fucking clip.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome back to No More Heroes. You guys have been liking these a lot more, which I appreciate because I gotta be honest. You're looking at my preparation.
Yeah. It's boom, bam, boom.
It's insane how Pat's like, I will steal your podcast and then do 10 times more prep you ever could have possibly dreamed of.
I'll raise you one crazy obsession.
No,
You like government? Sure, but what about animals when they're ripping into flesh?
I am so happy the way the cookies crumbled on this pod because it has always been my dream to be the guy who goes, you said what? On the fucking, this is some shit that happened podcast.
Yeah, and I also like being...
What the hell did he do to that guy?
I like being the guy for once that you go, hey, what about this? And I go, I have an answer. Like, I actually have answers to that stuff.
Dude, Steph did that to me one time at... I got so scared. I forget what the fucking topic was. It was closer to COVID where, we were all a little more paying attention to the news, politically minded. But it was like a thing that had just happened. Whatever the fuck it was, a thing just happened. And it was one of those that if you looked at the headlines, you actually got the completely wrong thing.
Yeah.
And if you did a very minimal looking into it, you realized it was completely different.
Yeah.
I was up on that. And, dude, Steph, just in front of her whole family, she's like, oh, Andy actually knows a lot about this subject. Andy, tell him about it. And I go, that's so much pressure.
That's a lot of pressure, but...
But let me lay it on you right now.
Brother.
And Pat does that every goddamn week.
I found a little bit of superpower, obsessing about things that I really love. If we could do hockey fights month, that'd be cool too.
That would be cool. I've heard there's this.
I got a story about Todd Bertuzzi that's gonna fucking break your neck,
dude. I gotta be I gotta be honest though. A lot of those like old school sports injuries and fight stories make me sad because I listened to this podcast about this hockey player who was like, he was the baddest motherfucker. He'd be there's the guy in hockey that is the fighter.
Yeah.
And then it's just it was like a 2-hour pod, and the last hour of the pod is just stories of him being like, yeah, he's just he sits in his truck in construction sites and screams because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I like the first half when he was fighting people.
When it was all like he was like saluting the crowd with like bloody knuckles.
Yeah,
like one of those.
That's the fun half of the pod.
Yeah, we like you. We like you. We like you. So like I would actually like to put it out if you want to pound off in the comments. I know that there's a couple fucking dedicated. There's always like a spattering of like new people in the comments that are like, holy shit, subscribe, whatever. We love you guys. We appreciate you. But there's some day ones. There's some people in there that are in the comments a lot. Let it pound off, man. Let us know what the next theme month you want to see because hockey fights would be fun. I could do that. Yeah. That's something I like already. But also, I'm open to like researching things I'm not familiar about.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's going to be a different unveiling. Like this is the last one of these. Actually, by the way, this is a fun little spoiler alert, and this is going to get you to watch the rest of this episode. I guarantee it. This is the first time we had an animal attack episode where we're going to have the animal as a possible guest on the show.
What?
Yeah, that's right. Montecore. I
was about to make that joke, and you're like, no, we may have him on the show.
Like, legitimately. It's going to happen. So, it's I don't know at what point, because, again, we're going to find out. They can be unpredictable at times.
Okay.
But if there is a certain sports injuries or sports stories, like different things,
basically,
something that we haven't.
If there's a thing that you want Pat to make a detailed outline of, and you want to hear me make jokes about it every 2 to 3 minutes, let us know.
We'll do it.
But no, I do think because I think this format leans into both of our skills. We did not realize you were amazing at researching and making outlines.
I didn't know.
And I'm really good at getting distracted and then hopping in and saying something funny.
Wait, what did you just say?
What? Wait, what was that? Anyway, what Pat just said is gay. Here's my joke. just hit him with the Come Town classic. What if what you just said was also gay?
I gotta tell you, you better warm up your fucking commenting buttons because this story is gay. This one, a little fun. You know how I like to title these. This one I did title Siegfried and Roy, quote, Tiger Queens.
Oh yeah.
It's a very
It's
interesting.
actually
tale.
a great title. That rules.
They have a very interesting story about them, and it really sucks because as I think on the past couple episodes with Travis the Chimp, Tillicum, obviously they have passed away, so it is nice to have one because Roy did end up getting attacked, but he did implore, like while he was still bleeding on the stage, that nobody kill this tiger. It is not the tiger's fault. So this was
It's not the tiger's fault. We're just retarded gay guys.
you kind of find out at the end of this, like I think that there's this is another kind of little unveiling of there's not a lot of details. It's a Vegas show. It's a couple of millionaires, and they're protected. So a lot of the details are a little fuzzy. But the reason I named it Tiger Queens is this feels like if the Tiger King was successful. If he had money, there go before the grace of God. Like he wouldn't have been able to get away with shooting him, but they would have also had like sanctuaries built for him and all this other shit.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, but these other stories, like I like to do a lot more research on the animal. What's the animal's history?
You were saying that there's not a lot of info about the actual incident.
Yeah, because
I've heard that like Vegas is.
Well,
I forget who the fuck I was talking about, but that's one of the dudes I've met being down here in Austin. He was telling me like a lot of Vegas shit. They're real good at covering shit up because there's an
it was
endless
mob run for including the time that they entered Vegas.
Well,
no pun
and
intended.
I also 100%. And I also think the sheer fact that like people go to Vegas to get fucked up, fuck hookers, do crazy shit.
It's a debaucherous town.
Exactly. That's the theme of the town. And if you get out how many actual problems happen in Vegas, it's going to really hurt. Because there's nothing going on in that city besides, like, it's all built around the casinos.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on in that city besides that. So if you fuck up the tourist shit, you got nothing going on there.
Yeah, I think there's it's a weird thing where like the Montecore the tiger was born in like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
By that time they had already had like the machine rolling. Again, they were in Vegas in the 60s and they ended up getting pretty. So like but a weird thing was the tiger being rejected by its mother. So like this feels like at least the way that they're acquiring tigers, I feel like, are either ones that are born in captivity that are not able to be kept in like a zoo or something like that, or something like that, or they're tigers that are being rejected by their mother. So like they're at least not going out like the orca people and like blowing up and fucking trapping them in the wild and all this other shit. Because also that's a lot more dangerous. So
it's a solid come up for the Tigers too. You
But
go
also
from being rejected by your mom. Now you're doing fucking six nights a week in
doing
Vegas.
blow in the fucking in Vegas and shit like that. So
Dude, he's just catching the rings, being like, "Who's reject now, mom?"
so Siegfried said. So unfortunately on this one it's gonna be like half and half. Obviously, there's not a lot of tiger history with Montecore. But I'll give you some of the background on Siegfried and Roy.
Please do.
These weirdos who definitely had daddy issues. It was always a question if they were a couple, but like they had a 2-bedroom suite built at the Mirage for them.
Wait, did they have like daddy issues or like issues with daddy?
Let me tell you. So Siegfried said that the first time his father acknowledged him was when he was a baby boy, or like just like probably like 5 or 6.
And what year was he born?
I don't have the year for where like Siegfried was.
You said they started in Vegas in the 60s.
Yeah, so like they
So
were.
he was
they were in
probably
the 20s in like on this boat, the Bremen.
Yeah.
In the early 60s.
Okay, so they were probably born 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
I was just getting the time frame because I forget what the fuck I was reading, but people don't realize like this whole new age thing of like showing your kids love. It's a real new thing.
Yeah.
Like kids back in the day were treated like dogs who could talk.
Bro.
Like the thing I was reading, there was a real theme of seen not heard.
Yeah.
So this whole thing where you're going like, yeah, his dad didn't talk to him until he was 6 or whatever you were about to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could believe it.
So like he said, the first time his father ever acknowledged him was when he was like 5 or 6. And
Wait, really?
He was super engaged in magic. Siegfried loved magic,
Yeah.
and he made the coin disappear. And his father went, look. He said it was the first time his father looked him in the eye, and he said, "How'd you do that?" And I think that was the moment that he realized his father was a retard.
That's the most.
When you, it's just
Dude,
like,
I gotta be honest though. That's the most annoying thing on life. That's where I go, like, what's the fucking term? Predetermination or like the belief that life's already planned out for you.
Yeah.
It's not, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like in that moment you're like, oh, I guess I'll just be a fucking gay tiger guy.
Both of these guys. Yeah, it's really interesting. So like like a lot of bands like are created because of the influence, like the mashing of influences in like different members. So like Slayer came from Jeff Hanneman loving punk rock and stuff like that, and Kerry King loving like Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden and shit like that.
Sure.
And that mix kind of created a whole new genre. It's the same idea with Siegfried and Roy. They created the genre of gay tiger breeding.
Yeah.
So Tiger King could not have ran if Siegfried and Roy were not to walk.
So like Tiger King's kind of like post-hardcore gay tiger breeding.
Yes, right. But it comes with they're not both magicians.
And he's the Fugazi of it. That's why he sucks so much ass.
By the way, I realized this too. There's a weird thing with this, like magicians in general, and I'm not saying this like it's because we were just talking about in Drag the Lake about like wrestling. Like, don't poo-poo someone's love. And I don't want to poo-poo, like, magic.
Don't yuck someone else's yum.
Don't want to do that normally, right? But magicians are it's just production. Like, the higher the magician and the higher the status of magician, the more it is just production. Do you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of sorcery. You know what I'm saying?
Yes and no. There's definitely... That's why, like the stage... I don't have a lot of interest in stage magician stuff. Like, it's the street magician shit and you ever see The Mentalist that fucks up with the football teams?
Yeah.
That stuff, I go, you might be a wizard.
Well, like, it's the thing... It's a fun thing where... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's not, like, big explosions or anything like that, but, like, these Vegas shows. Like, Siegfried, ironically... only got the recognition from his father. And again, this is purely speculation of their sexuality. But let's say he may have been inadequate about some internal feelings, maybe that his father may judge him more or negatively in general. Like, I just got his attention. I don't want him to be disappointed in me.
Yeah.
He loves magic. I know I'll be the most magician, and then you go like, wait a minute, that's just even gayer.
Well, there is something...
You just get gayer.
Don't get me wrong, for like
it's a lot of poof and a pow and boom.
There is something to the fact that I think with how much discrimination there was back in the day, it did made the talented non-whites 10 times more talented.
Yeah.
It made them, because it's like that's how you got accepted.
But it's just lying. Like let me just say this. Me saying that is the same thing as somebody saying when you go, I like wrestling, being like, that's fake. Like, magicians, you're just liars.
Yeah.
It's just liars that can shuffle.
Yeah.
So you just have this thing where, like, sleight of hand is just a trick. It's just a trick.
Mm-hmm.
But it is still one of those things of, like, I respect the hustle and the production, but it is a production. And so like you have somebody who has a real big interest like Siegfried, right? Roy, at the same time, probably not connecting a lot with his family. He actually loved going to the zoo and really found a connection with animals, something I can relate with. But he actually made a special connection with a cheetah.
Ooh.
at the local zoo named Chico.
That was a dancer's name at the gay club. Cheetah had the best cocaine.
Cheetah used to blow up.
Maya.
So it was not specified. Like I said, there's not a lot of the research that at least that I did. I'm not reading books. All right, guys. I just want to also know
Hey,
that
Pat?
if the thing that you want me to research is books, try again.
So funny. Everyone's in there. Thank God he clarified that.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody knew. No, I think the same thing. Like, I didn't know, like, how old he was.
Oh, by the way, whatever topic you suggest, hopefully there's a YouTube video about
yeah,
it.
if there's not, I'm not researching. No, I think there's the same thing with, there's, like, a special, this is, some of the research that I did with this, there's, like, a special that on 2020 about Siegfried and Roy, and, like, just like a little Barbara Walters soft fucking interview, just kind of gives the history of these guys.
Yeah.
But again, it's everything that I've seen on there's nothing that cuts deep. Like, I tried to find the history of Montecore. It's not the same activism happening with Shamu or with Telecom, where, like, people are like, let me just tell you exactly the life and the traumas of this person. Because, like, I don't think that when this tiger was born, it was rejected by its mother and then taken into their sanctuary. So like, the history they would have on it, they would have to have people in their crew turning on them. So
it makes sense because it makes sense too, the public interest, because I feel like it follows cute animal rules.
Yes.
Like I don't, tigers aren't cute the same way a whale is, and people don't get
They are. They're majestic. They're beautiful. They're stunning the same way they are.
Yeah, but like
where you're like.
But if you think about it, think about it in like stuffed animal terms. If you turn a whale into a stuffed animal, you don't have to change it up. If you turn a tiger into a stuffed animal, you gotta make it look a little cartoony. You gotta put big eyes on it. You gotta kind of zhuzh it up a little bit for it to be cute.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? Like, I think whales like 10 times deadlier and scarier than a tiger. Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, depending on the
situation,
the terrain.
Because what was that movie? What was that movie where it was like the whole? It was based off a book.
Tiger-nado.
Tornado
tigers, right?
There's a movie where like an Indian kid just fought a tiger in a little boat.
They're in the boat. It's like I think. By the way, this speaks to me being a world-class mark. I think that was all innuendo. I don't think there was a real tiger. I don't think there was actually like a real kid and a tiger.
I know nothing about the story.
It's like a thing where like it was just about him dealing with like his family, like dealing with his past and all this other stuff. It was very introspective. But it's like it was him like hallucinating, like not hallucinating.
Are you saying at the end of the story he goes, "There was no tiger the whole time"?
Right. Yeah, there's only one step of.
Because I was like
one set of proof.
Well, because I was wondering if you were realizing symbolism at that moment.
No. Just in that case of like where I was just like, damn, this is a fucking awesome thing where kids a raft with a tiger. It's like it's like Castaway, but like the volleyball's a tiger.
You're so funny. I feel like everything you've ever learned, you got tricked into it.
Yeah.
You're like, I just want to watch this guy fight a tiger in the boat. Yeah. God damn it, I learned a lesson.
Yeah, I learned about these fucking gay German dudes.
God fucking damn it.
But there's so Roy's got this connection with Chico at the zoo.
Yeah.
And they end up, like I said before, they met up on this cruise ship. It was called, what was it called again? I got it here. It was called the Bremen. So they met on the Bremen. Siegfried was Siegfried Fischenbacher was a steward, and he also did magic shows there. And Roy Horn was a bellboy working on the Bremen. They had 55 years of working together total. Mm-hmm. They met at this point in the Bremen in the early 60s, and they worked and for 30 years, 48 weeks a year in Vegas. And Roy was the animal lover. Siegfried was the magician. So Roy, at one point on the Bremen, he filled in because he needed an assistant. And Roy, he said, do you mind helping me out? He said, all right, cool. Helped him out with the thing. And afterwards, Siegfried asked him, what do you think of the act? And Siegfried was, I don't know if he, again, I didn't find anything that said, they were in a relationship or anything like that. But this seems like a meet cute kind of thing of,
What does that might mean, by the way?
It's like a thing of like where like you both kind of say the right things, and it's just like a really nice, good story to tell later on. Like it's a meet cute would be like, oh, we bumped into each other, we dropped our things, we picked it up, and like we're like, oh, like it's like a movie kind of fantasy thing. I think that's kind of what it is because
White woman bullshit.
I don't. This could be fake. Again, these are the only.
No, I mean the term.
only,
I mean the term.
Yes,
the term's white lady bullshit.
Yes, but that's the same idea of
Okay.
this. Is like they're people that are able, like what do they say? The history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
So like these gay guys are telling their own kind of the story of like he might have just been like, oh, like speaking German to each other. I don't know, but he said,
It felt like really gay German.
you can do that with a rabbit. Can you do it with a cheetah? And he's just like, Like, apparently that's when that night is when they start doing a fucking big cat act. Because Roy Horn, who was a bellboy on this Bremen, snuck Chico on the ship. It was on the ship. And
Yeah.
like I said, another documentary, the thing that kind of inspired this whole series that we did was The Dark Side of the 2000s.
Yeah.
And the story of the tiger attack or Roy Horn and in general, that was really, really interesting because on this, like, it can be told a very cute way of like, oh, you can do that with a rabbit, but how about knock open the door and like there's a fucking cheetah.
Yeah.
Can you do it with that? And he's like, whoa, you got a fucking cheetah. And then they do it with the act, and everybody loves it.
On the boat? What?
Everybody loves it, and the captain goes, Get the fuck off the boat. You're
Yeah.
both fired. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He was furious with them, rightfully so. The only person that ever acted appropriately, I feel like, with these guys and their big cat act was that captain on the Bremen. And if we could send a time traveler back to stop Tiger King, to stop Roy Horn from being mutilated by one of his cats, like any of this other stuff, it would be to that time, and they would just beat up that captain, take his thing, and actually physically kill Roy Horn or somebody else, like or Chico or something, like because it was a weird thing where they're just like, holy shit, that was the first time they got away with it. Let me just put it this way. Everybody knows what happens, but
Yeah.
that was the first time that somebody
This is a
that
good
these two
distinction you've been throwing out this whole series.
got away with
Yeah.
having a big cat in their act. And it's a weird thing to say because, first of all, I found out about the connection with Chico at the zoo.
Yeah.
How does Chico come into your possession, sir? Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Also, dude,
that's the crazy part that they just kind of skip over. How does Chico become like he imitates purring with Chico and makes a connection with him at the zoo, and then cut to, oh, Chico's on the fucking boat with me.
He just gets
as
a
my
cheetah.
pet.
I gotta say this too. Everyone always says, you said it earlier, history's written by the victors.
Yeah.
It's also a lot of history is written by closeted gay guys. Because I was reading this book, the
2-bedroom apartment, one for each of them. They're not gay.
the very talented journalist Whitney Webb has this 2 books called One Nation Under Blackmail.
Uh-huh.
And like so much of history has been driven by blackmailing closeted gay dudes in the government. And it's just like, dude, you know what I think it is? Because I think I think a big part of it too is like a lot of gay dudes back in the day, before we sort of just broadly accepted gay people as a country, they were kind of a level of outlaw. Mm-hmm. And I think something happens to, like back in the day, I think something would happen to gay dudes where they would just be like, you're not allowed to be you in public.
Yeah.
And they would turn into this resentment, and they'd be like, I'll show you, sister.
Right.
And they'll be like, fuck you. I'm going to train a goddamn cheetah.
Yeah. It's not, it's like the energy is put in the wrong, because like this is definitely a pivotal moment. And this is at this point,
Yeah, dude.
right? They take this, they follow their gut.
That's why we got to accept gay people.
Well, okay, by the way,
Just so, because that's the thing. If you don't accept gay, I'm just realizing this in real time. I'm sorry, but if you don't accept gay people, you turn these gays into evil, closeted homos, and then they try to take over the world. And we just, You just got to accept them and let them vibe out. That's what happens. If you don't let people vibe out, they turn into maniacal.
I apologize. Andy's been watching Bryce Mitchell highlights.
No, sorry. I was reading, looking at all the blackmail stuff. It's not as crazy as you think.
But but it's also this is the first time. So like, if you remember correctly, I was talking about that same cheetah. I believe Chico was the same one that allegedly attacked a young boy backstage of one of these shows.
Yeah.
Because they go from Europe to Monte Carlo. They would actually... So then they take their act to Vegas. They go to casino to casino. They're doing over, like... they're traveling, like, throughout, like, Vegas and everything like that. They repopularize magic in a mob-run Vegas. So, like, when... they're pitching the show, they're basically saying anything but magic at this time. They're like, magic is fucking done. We just need dickheads drunkenly singing about how much they love dancing on the moon. And then all of his friends.
Well, dude, it's fun. I wonder if magic has to do with, like, because you can't steal anything from it.
Right.
You can't, like, order too much of something and then a lot of it, like, no one wants magic equipment that fell off a truck.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, there's no business in it for them. Yeah.
That was the scene
They
from...
don't have a fucking...
That was a scene from Goodfellas where they had the restaurant and they would, like, over-order shit and then they'd go in the front door, go out the back door. And it's just like, who are you going to be like, yeah, I got a bunch of these fucking, it's a wand, and then when you do this, it kind of explodes.
Yeah, what do you need, a bouquet that turns into a wand, or a wand that turns into a bouquet or something?
Yeah, no, you put your girl in here.
Cars that are connected.
You make it look like you cut her in half. I bet you want to actually do that to your wife, don't you? Anyway, please, for the love of God, buy this shit.
Yeah, it is fucking rotting on the shelf. No, okay, so they get to Vegas, right? And that's when they start, like, they're kind of going like, this is where we need to be.
Yeah.
They're establishing themselves in Vegas. They're upping their animal game. They have elephants and white tigers and what else? Hold on. What is it?
They have elephants?
So they have
Dude, something
elephants, white tigers, and flamingos. Oh, my.
Something needs to be... Yeah, that third one, you should have started with that,
no,
to be honest.
You don't think flamingos are a headliner? Why didn't they keep flamingos? Who's going to be... I'm telling you right now.
What's the flamingo trick?
The flamingo trick is you keep your fucking trachea.
That's
the trick, is that if they bite you, you don't die for a little bit. And then they come back, and then you can't walk right or talk right, and you can't move half of your body.
I'm more afraid of elephants because they don't just hurt you; they remember.
Because
if the elephant kills me, he's gonna come back and find Steph, and then kill. And then at a certain point, he's gonna get to fucking you,
brother. I tell you what, elephants are basically land orcas, as far as I'm concerned. We better stay on their good side.
Elephants don't fucking forget shit.
They don't forget a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
So Steve Wynn is the owner of the Mirage. He's building the Mirage Casino. He's watching these shows as they're going throughout the strip, and he's seeing a need, basically, for an established place with the room and the longevity for them to be able to establish themselves in the town. Yeah. So Steve Wynn, he basically had the duo in mind when he started construction of the Mirage. He built 1,500 capacity, $30 million theater, as well as
Steve, you put a lot of glory holes in the dressing room.
Well, speaking of, as well as their
come on, man,
2-bedroom apartment that is completely in exchange basically of complete exclusivity of the show. They're gonna do it here. This is your exclusive show. Nobody can see it unless
they got here. Like apartments above the fucking theater
in like the early 90s. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's basically by the time they're kind of getting, when the Mirage is built, it's with them as
that's some like old
being
school
the featured
shit.
Guy. Yeah,
Letterman had like a tiny room where he could like plow out interns in New York.
Yeah, and they part of this is also they're building like animal sanctuaries for them, like parts where they can keep other their animals and help to they. Again, I don't know how much.
It's so funny. You're at the Mirage and you just hear like, yeah. You're like, what the fuck was that?
A fucking elephant. Like, you know how all those familiar smells of the strip, like cigarettes, you got fucking fried food, you get like a little bit of some beer, stuff like that, and then you just all of a sudden you just smell elephant shit. Like, I would hope that they have it away from there. And this is also in the same vein as having training, rehabilitation for animals that are either, again, rejected by their born into captivity. They can't be released. That need to be moved to a different facility.
I will say I like that part. The fact that they're not just like the fucking whale shit was brutal. And just like, let's kill your whole family. You know why all those whales are so angry? Because every single one of them was fucking Batman.
Yeah.
They watched their family die in front of them.
Right. They had to watch that. And like a lot of these, if they're born into captivity, like you said, so Manticore or Monticore, I like Monticore. It sounds more cool.
Manticore sounds way better.
It sounds like a great genre of music too.
Sounds like a good sandwich.
Yeah. Give me a Monticore.
Give me a Monticore.
Can you toast the bread?
You're like, it's just a turkey melt.
Yeah.
But call it a Monticore when you make it.
Call it a Monticore? Because otherwise I'll kill myself.
Could I have a turkey and ham in between French toast?
Also, maybe it should be Monticore because he's born in Mexico in the mid-90s.
Monticore from Mexico?
Monticore from Mexico.
Monticore, you're going to go on and you're going to make the two Gemendo happy.
What was that?
Don't bite their neck off.
So key points of why a tiger mother would reject its cub. I had to look this up because it's really interesting to me.
Zero riz.
Could be weak or unhealthy cubs. Mother might.
I gotta be honest. It's crazy how many of these I'm accidentally nailing.
It's just nature versus nurture, baby. Mother tiger may instinctively, abandon a cub that appears weak, injured, or has physical defect, as raising such a cub could jeopardize her own survival and that of her other offspring.
You know what another one is, Pat?
How's that?
Finding out he's a Cowboys fan.
He's got you guys.
You guys are fucking
It's all
pussies.
good fun, but good luck next year.
Yeah.
Stressful conditions. If a mother tiger is under significant stress due to lack of food, threats of predators, or human disturbance, she may neglect or abandon some cubs. So this whole him not being accepted by his mother might have been their own fault. Who knows? First-time mother. Sometimes first-time mothers might they exhibit fully developed maternal instincts, but they may not exhibit fully developed maternal instincts, leading to neglect and rejection of their cubs. Litter size, also new male takeover, which sounds like a great wrestling faction. The new male takeover. When a new male tiger takes over a territory, he may kill cubs from the previous male to ensure his own genetic legacy. So Manticore is a quick learner. When he enters one of Siegfried and Roy's sanctuaries, he learns really quick, and he quickly becomes a star of the stage show.
Ooh.
October 3rd, 2003. This is ironic. So, it's a strange thing. I don't know why this was. I think this was just basically. Oh, so the big show is not the wrestler, but the actual night. October 3rd, 2003, is the biggest show because they were celebrating 44 years together, and Roy's.
What was this? 03?
Yes.
Okay.
And Roy's 59th birthday.
Oh, yeah. Where'd they go, to Sizzler?
Well, one of them got fried. Let's just say. 45 seconds into the show. This is the thing. Is aside from that incident,
yeah,
with the little kid on the boat, or I don't know if that was on the boat or if that was after the boat, but it was when it was the Chico era.
Yeah.
That just sounds so fucking Chico, Monticore. These might be factions that are now considered territory or terrorist organizations. These are obviously some kind. What is it called? Cartel. Chico attacks this kid allegedly, and it's not really ever reported on. So as far as I know, and as far as I can prove. This is the only attack that I can account for Monticore. There doesn't seem to be any premeditated thing except for the fact of him being born in a stressful situation.
Yeah.
Stolen away from his mother.
You think it's like a college situation where like
a
sexual assault happens and the college is like, don't go to the cops, we'll figure it out.
Because nobody died.
Yeah.
I think essentially that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like the kid got injured, and
Yeah.
whatever. I think they settled it out of court. It's covered in the Dark Side of the 2000s.
It'd be funny if they found out the animals are there pissed off. They're like, dude, my name's Brad.
Yeah, stop calling me Montecore.
You fucking dorks are giving me these goddamn fantastical names. My name is Chet. Calm down.
And I will say this, like, as far as like the tricks that they're doing, it's basically they're asking these tigers tolerate pyro. Tolerate pyro, because they're just sitting in a cage, and then they'll go
Yeah.
and then they pull this big thing down, and it's just a tiger going "Rah!" And then they go like, oh, all right, and then other than that, it's just them like walking around with a chain around their neck.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a lot of the tricks that they're asked to do is pretty simple. They're not like specific tricks.
Yeah.
They're not like do a backflip, go over here, do this. They're like go this way, and then like so Montecore's cue is he would walk around around the circle with Roy, and then step back onto his stop at his mark, and then he would go like, hey, say hi to the people, and then put the mic out to Montecore, and he would roar or make a noise at the crowd. Like essentially that's the bit. So it's 45 seconds in, and Roy so like Montecore misses his mark. Not misses his mark, but isn't at his mark.
Just as a tiger.
Just after. So what did I say earlier? What did I say? It was 55 years together performing. So 30 years in Vegas.
So funny to be like, you missed your Mark Montecore. He's like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
Who's Montecore? Like, where's my mom? Like, she doesn't like you anymore, dickhead.
I was trying to think. So after 50 years of performing together, so 30 years in Vegas, but 50 years performing together with large like. From the jump, they're like they only did that one show where he's like, these fucking rabbits are stupid. My fucking cheetah could eat these bitches. And they're like, bring them out. And then
like, show me.
Yeah, let's do it. And then since then they started working.
What
with big
animal? Now, when it comes to like the big animals, do you know like what number Montecore is? Like, how many animals have they gone through?
No, it's that I think again. I could try to find it a little bit more, like try to actually figure out how many they have.
Yeah.
But like it's like they have a sanctuary. Like they have.
So they're not like.
So there's bits in the show. There's different tigers that have different roles in the show. So Montecore is like they said, he responded well to the training.
Yeah.
He could hit those marks, and he's easily trainable. So
Yeah.
he is essentially a star of the show. The ones that are just tigerin' are the ones that are like, yeah, we'll have you as essentially stage show, like stage decoration, where they're in the cage and they kind of like have these things where one of my favorite scenes in, like, I thought it was so fucking cool when I watched Vegas Vacation, National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation, and they're at the Siegfried and Roy show, and there's a big like tree, essentially a gigantic kitty tree, but it's filled with tigers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's fucking incredible. But I remember thinking as a young boy, going, is just fucking tigers? Like, there's people right there. Surely that's not what they do for the show. And no, this was the movie. If you're familiar with it, it's just a long commercial for Go to Vegas.
Clearly, this is just a fictional representation because this is too ridiculous for real life.
They would never do that. That's insanely dangerous.
Yeah, that is.
But that is what they were doing.
Like,
and the training was walk around here.
Good
boy. Say hi.
I'll say this for Siegfried and Roy. It does sound like this does sound like the best version of any of these stories. Like, in all these stories we've been going through, it's like, yeah, man, you might want to just, like, we might want to just create a new standard where you go, these things are a part of nature. Just keep them in nature. You're not going to domesticate them.
There's no domesticating.
Yeah, and I will say for Siegfried and Roy, it's like they created the sanctuary. It doesn't seem like they kept them in a nice place.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the show is too brutal on the tiger. You do a little roar, you do a little walk around.
But they were risky little boys.
Well,
These boys were so risky.
And that's the other thing I'm getting to, where it's like they did treat them good, but then there is that element where you know, when you start realizing they don't have like more control over the situation than they actually do, and how in danger everyone is at all times when going to these shows.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I think with, and this is my own personal like thought, is like, I don't think there really is any dirt really to pick up. I just think they're just a couple gay weirdos that got lucky for fucking 30 years in Vegas by having sold. I mean, they would have sold out shows that whole time. 48 weeks a year. They want to only take like
You don't
a
think there's a
couple weeks
lot of
off.
dirt back there?
I don't think so. I would think that their employees or their trainers were like, and I don't think it was necessarily even like a SeaWorld thing where they're like, hey, let's see what your chemistry's like with these tigers. I think they had people that were confident in big cat training and big cat like rehabilitation. As legitimate as a business as that can be.
I could see a lot of hush money for people who don't die, where it's like, you got hurt. Like, okay, you got hurt. This is kind of fucked up, but you didn't die. So would it, you know, because honestly, dude, if I'm a tiger guy and I'm working for Siegfried and Roy, yeah, do I get a little fucked up? But are they gonna throw a shit ton of money at me? I go, maybe I shut the fuck up and get this huge paycheck. I can see that.
I don't think it's as bad as like where they're just trying to alter, like they're trying to say like, no, tigers like living in captivity. You know, like where they were kind of doing it in SeaWorld, where they're like, they only live about 20 years. Like, no, they live way longer than that in the wild. I think it was maybe, but and I don't think it's also as bad as like Tiger King, where it's just like this weird thing where you're like, you want to feel like the weird ringmaster. I think they did really have like love for him and everything. And you're right, there could have been hush money because they were fucking loaded rich. Obviously.
I think in all these scenarios they have love for him. I think they're just misguided.
This is the one I think connected with.
I think in a lot of scenarios in all these scenarios we've talked about they have love for the animals. I just think there's different degrees of like disconnection from if this is really good or bad. There's like a level of I have more control over this situation than they actually really do. And then also, too, I think some of them are just fucking dumb at a certain point. You know, I think a lot of these scenarios, they don't have that bad of intentions. I just think they're misguided and dumb sometimes.
Yeah, this is an odd miss, I guess, for Siegfried and Roy, or for Roy at least, because this was his little opening bit where he would, like, again, walk around in the circle. And then he would stop and he would say, you know, he'd turn to Montecore and he'd say, oh, like, tell him hi, whatever. And he noticed that Montecore wasn't on his mark. So instead of, this is just like, it's one of those weird things, almost like maybe like Tillicum or Travis. Maybe not Tillicum, but maybe like Travis, where it's like he could have been in a crazy state because of the medication, but then he thought somebody who was unfamiliar was stealing one of his favorite toys. Like, it was just a once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So this was a weird thing where, like, he tried to push Montecore back to his spot. Like, instead of just
which guy was this?
This was Roy. So he tried to push him back, which agitated Montecore. Montecore, his ears perked.
You just find out he's super homophobic.
Yeah. Well, he had enough, essentially. His whiskers.
You're gonna get it on me.
His whiskers perked. His little ears perked up. He was giving all like the little like quick warning signs, and then immediately latched onto his arm.
No.
So he grabs his arm, and Roy does a good job with staying calm. Kind of like that one whale trainer we were talking about. He was somebody that was like, he knew not to panic or to anything. And he just bit onto his arm, and he said, you know, he tried to start.
He turned to him and he goes, "You bitch."
Well, he would. Well, this is the funny thing. This is why I go Tiger Queen comes out. Is he's doing the okay, hey, you know, hey, we're just doing this a long time. Hey, everything's all right, baby. And then he just kind of goes, but then he just freaks out, and he just goes, just give him a little pop with the microphone. Pops him with a microphone.
Oh, literally just
boops him with the microphone.
No shit.
And that like when that happens, he kind of, and at the same time, there's a trainer, Lawrence, off the side, off the stage, that's trying to entice him with like raw meat and shit like that to try to get him away to let him go, and because he saw the whole interaction was just basically like, oh, this is not the crowd is just watching this. They don't know that anything's wrong yet. They don't think that there's anything wrong. They just kind of think like because why would they?
Yeah.
There's never been an attack like that. It's been 30 years at this one place, this hotel, sold out shows year in, year out.
And you got to imagine too, like depending on how close you are,
Yeah.
you may not be able to like actually see if he's like latching down, and like you said, it was like it
was
probably
his arm.
hurt a little bit, but it was like it was just a soft little.
He wasn't reacting, so it wasn't like he wasn't going he was just kind of going, oh, he's being a weirdo. Oh, what a silly guy.
Yeah.
And then so when he bonks him, it does temporarily give him a little bit of relief. But I don't know if you know this, tigers, even white ones, don't like getting bonked.
They don't like a bonk.
They don't like a bonk. So when that happens, he swipes his legs, knocks him down to the ground. And this is the weirdest part.
Fucking hits him with a Karate Kid.
This is the most. Yeah, he swept the leg, Johnny.
He swept the leg, Johnny.
So he was doing a little.
There's like the other tiger just goes, put him in a body bag.
So there was a. This is the weirdest part, right? So like, he bonked Montecore in the head with his mic, like a stooge, and then he let go of Roy's arm for just a second, and then swiped his feet. This was the eerie part. Roy groans in pain when his face hits the floor. So like I think he kind of did almost like the wine lady that fell.
Oh, where she?
Yeah, like I think
she's
it kinda,
like squishing the grapes.
I think it zonked him. He's like,
God, classic video.
hits the floor while the audience just watched. They were just watching this. They weren't really reacting. I don't know if they thought it was the start of a bit, the end of a bit, or whatever. But Montecore,
that moment in the audience has to be so fucking horrifying, where you're just like, they know what they're doing. They got everything under control.
Yeah, you're watching,
and then
actively.
it like it hits you, and you're like, there's a tiger 50 feet away from me. What am I doing?
Brother, you're getting ahead of me, brother. He hits the floor while the audience is watching, right? And the Montecore just walks over casually, because that was the thing is, I think what happened was he let go.
Yeah.
And maybe when he let go, he
Fell
tried
down.
he tried to get away, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was just like, no, bitch. Like, no.
No.
And like, because he hit him like down, he's down on the ground, and he just walks over to him and starts chomping on his body, chomping on his neck in particular, crushing his windpipe and severing a major artery. So blood starts to spurt all over the stage. Then the crowd knew this ain't right. And then this is when people realized they were in the room with a tiger. The whole crowd, the whole 1,500 seat capacity, panics.
Yeah.
And they start rushing for the exits. Montecore did not respond whatsoever to commands. There was a 4-man crew. This is the silliest. You want to laugh? You want to have a little laugh? We're getting too serious. Let's have a little laugh. There's a 4-man crew that is, so what did I say, 30 years in Vegas, 50 years total working together with big cats in magic in particular.
Okay.
This is maybe just purely speculation, and I'm going to explain why I'm speculating this. But I think that they may not have had a protocol for what happens if a giant tiger happens to attack either one of the performers or somebody in the crowd.
Gotta have a tiger protocol.
There is because they, first of all, while he's got raw meat right in front of him on the ground, the guy's going, come over here, Montecore. Psst, Montecore, you're ruining the show. Montecore, get over here. They're still trying to salvage the show. They're not reacting to, my arm's in a tiger's mouth.
Yeah.
Like there's no bzz, bzz, there's no pow pow. There's no, and it's 2003. This is not it's not going to happen at this point.
People might think it's a tiger terrorist.
It's gotta, at some point, it's gonna happen. It's inevitable.
The political climate's a little rocky.
It's really early on. Yeah,
is this what Al Qaeda really is?
Yeah, this is homegrown. This is domestic. So
wait, we're not gonna do that for a while. Don't worry.
There's a 4-man crew of people that are spraying Montecore with fire extinguishers as he's chomping down, and the blood is covering the stage.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy going, and like little, he's just going chompy, 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 chompy.
Wait, okay.
And there's people running to the exits. Screaming.
Wait. Let me just clarify.
And they're
so
spraying it
the
with-
dude got his neck bit.
Roy, yeah.
Is Montecore like still biting on him, or is that just happening in the corner?
So yeah, he is.
What's he doing? Is he
He's
like
chomping on him. He's biting his neck. He's
he's
like,
okay. That's why I asked. He's still biting him.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So he is. So the 4-man crew starts spraying him with the extinguishers. When that doesn't help, they also start bonking him on the head with the extinguishers. So like, did you not see what happened the last time he got bonked?
Dude, I gotta be honest. If someone was like, "Yo," like if I was a part of a crew with tigers and there was no clear tiger is freaking out protocol, and someone was like, "Hey, go get near that tiger," I'd be like, "Well, no, he's in the middle of killing a guy. I'm gonna lay back."
Yeah.
Dude, to like bonk him on the head. What the fuck? Like,
They
I'm
have
not.
no protocol. They have no nets. They have no tasers. They have no.
Bro, I'm not
like-
getting near a tiger with zero tiger protocol.
And this is what initially inspired everything that we're talking about, and like the common theme we've noticed is it wasn't a matter of, oh, this is like if somebody were to go like, what happens if the tiger attacks? They just go, he doesn't. Moving on. And it's just like one of those things where you're like, no.
Yeah.
But what happened? Like, because this is what happened with the drone shit. This is how it happened. It's not a threat. Well, what is it? We don't know. Just shut up. Leave us alone. Like, we're moving on.
It's actually a good thing to point out.
It's totally a cover-up.
It's actually a good thing to point out, too, for people who think everything's awful all the time.
Yeah.
I make this analogy with there's a lot of like with Netflix and all those big popular true crime documentaries. A lot of them, those cases get traction and become so popular and well known because the investigations or the trial or whatever was botched.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things you got to remember. Now, maybe not with the criminal justice system, but there's a lot of times you got to remember, you're like, this is a story because it got fucked up. This doesn't normally get fucked up. Now, the analogy is not perfect because we have been going with the theme of just like, hey, man, some of these animals you just can't domesticate.
Yeah, it's just it. And if you watch as much of the footage as I did, like there's pre-production bits that they do.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, there's advertising that they film for the show. There's pre-rolled bits. There's live tigers in the show. Plenty of live tigers. Just feet from people. That's what I'm saying is it's been going on for this long, and for this amount of time, the only thing that was separating the tigers from the audience was they had a chain around its neck, just a simple chain, like not like anything, and they were just holding it. It wasn't like it wasn't like it wasn't chained to the ground.
Yeah, they didn't actually in the background have it connected to something.
No tasers. There's no like electric fence. There's no real fence. There's no barrier. And that's the spectacle. That's the thing. That's how they were able to sell the whole show in general. But over all of those years, I think I agree with you, and I think there's got to be way more incidents than this because of just of a tiger, just like we said, tigering. Like whether it be a trainer, and they might be people that are loyal to them, but I think the cover-up idea is a lot more likely because finding incidents with, even to this day in 2025, it's still pretty hard to find a list of like incidents with these guys. But it exists because you hear at least about that one with with Chico.
I would venture to say that there's actually I don't know enough about it to be like, oh, there's a lot of instances, but I would venture to say that there's probably a handful, if not a lot, of incidences with Siegfried and Roy that are getting swept under the rug.
Yeah.
It's just statistically the nature of Vegas. You're telling me in 50 years this is the fucking first time that ever happened?
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's an instance where you have maybe this is, I think for sure, and he didn't kill Roy. Like I said earlier, he did definitely mutilate him. He crushed his windpipe. He essentially, after the surgery, he was in there for hours of surgery. They did let them know ahead of time what was coming in the hospital. It was really funny after the last one, or the incident with Travis, where everybody involved had to go to PTSD training or whatever.
Yeah.
Where this one, they're like, we learned, or actually this happened before Travis, but it's like Vegas. They're like, hey guys, this looks like a fucking crazy. This is a tiger attack, and they're like, what? Like it's like I don't like. I can't imagine. First of all, being surprised of a tiger attack in Vegas, of all the places, why would that be the most But you would have to.
It could also be code for like drug addicts.
Yeah,
Like, tiger
no,
attack.
no, a real one.
They're like, no, tiger.
But even while he's like bleeding out on stage, they're taking him to the hotel. He's pleading with people, do not kill the tiger. It's not his fault, which is true. I do agree with him.
Yeah, he was telling the
fault.
cops. He's like, I don't want to press charges.
We all know it's not. We know that's stupid. We have to. If he attacks us, we're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
He goes into hours of surgery. It leaves him partially paralyzed. It's hard for him to walk, talk, move, communicate, everything like that. Obviously, the show, after 50 years, they're performing together over 50 years. They had to cancel the show, which was a funny detail that like I didn't think you would have to specify. One of the guys who is the name of the show got attacked by one of the other characters in the show to death in front of the entire show. I would say, yeah, that's the finale. That's you can't really top that, especially in Vegas. But that ended the show. Roy Horn,
they had a bigger thing happen in Vegas a little later.
Yeah, well, allegedly. No, there's also an incident. Roy Horn ends up living for another 17 years. He dies in 2020 from elephant attack. No.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh.
It's just something else. But like he never did.
It'd be ironic if he just like choked on Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. Well, I think it might have been like COVID or like a stroke or something like that. Anyway, that was also another. I remember alleged thing. He was trying to protect the cat by saying like, "Oh, I had a stroke on stage, and he was just trying to protect me." That's what he said, but everybody saw it. Like, you bonked him, he got pissed off.
Yeah.
And fucking like if I bonk Stanley and he goes and he takes a swipe at me, only if Stanley was a million
gigantic and able to puncture your fucking neck.
Yeah.
No, yeah. It is interesting. Yeah, that is the move whenever animals attack, is to immediately. But also too, it's like, dude, can you imagine too being same thing with like the fucking chimp thing I was talking about this, where it's like, dude, you get the call and they'll be like those wacky Siegfried and Roy, the dumbass kitty cat got out of control, and you're like, what do I do? Because also too, if you're the cop, it'd be so funny too.
I'm not prepared for this.
Well, also too, like, dude, your regular pistol you have is probably not gonna do the thing. A fucking shotgun's probably not gonna like. I mean, it might. But can you imagine just rolling in with like an automatic rifle?
Yeah,
it's just unloading on the tiger.
Dude, that's not. It's like
it's insane.
But that's it is. It's just a matter of, and this is the through line that we've talked about like a million times of like, nobody's really in control.
Yeah,
nobody's really. So there probably is somewhere at some point Vegas may have built some kind of waiver into the ticket purchase of like, you are accepting, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've talked about that with like show with the concerts and shit. Like, you're going to see
about like stage diving.
Yeah, about in general of like, you're accepting the risk of like, if
they
you
just
get
like
injured,
they throw that out there while you're buying the ticket. They're like, yeah, so here's your ticket. This is the service fee. This is the might get killed by a tiger fee. Anyway, so have a great night. You get 2 complimentary drinks. Have fun.
Oh
Siegfried
my
and
God.
Roy. Woo!
Siegfried and Roy, night of
Woo!
your lives.
If you die, it's not our fault. Have fun.
Yeah, you guys are so lucky. Yeah, I would definitely. This is interesting to me because I could definitely see if I was vacationing in Vegas, going there and actually wanting to see this show at some point in my life, for sure. Because I've talked about it. I really love animals. The love-hate relationship I've gone over with zoos in my life, like, it does still have that, and maybe it's just for sheer fact of not being reported to us in particular. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know of any misdoing Roy or Siegfried or any of the trainers had any kind of like bad juju with the tigers.
Yeah.
I think this was just like again, every once in a while Stanley just fucking bites me a little too hard or scratches me a little too hard, and like if that's a cat who is 10 times that size, it's over.
It sounds like that's what he did, because that's what you gotta remember with these animals. Like if you come up to me and just start like annoying me, like say you're like tapping me, annoying me,
Yeah.
I'll go like get off, dude.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
might kind of like hurt you for a second, but it's not gonna maim you. If you do that to a fucking tiger or a gorilla, it's gonna be the same amount of energy for him, but he's way stronger, so it's gonna kill you. Like
Right.
I think most of these,
If he did that
the
to
chip
another
one
cat,
felt pretty personal when you rip someone's face off.
but also he was on drugs.
That too, yeah, I forgot
Like
about that.
I don't think necessarily this cat. I've dealt with spoiled cats my whole life. This cat might have just been Montecore, maybe just been a spoiled. This might be a Menendez type deal. But like, let's just say how the Menendez were being reported, not how the Menendez story actually happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that these guys had any kind of sexual relationship with these tigers, but like in a situation where you're like, this tiger just wanted the money. He's like, you gotta die so he can take over the show. It's gonna be Siegfried and Montecore.
Yeah,
now.
the Menendez show before you find out what his dad did to him.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh. And then so, like, maybe there is some dirt that's going to come out in a while. And I would be really interested to find out, like, is there any dirt to pick up? Or is there just the fact that, like, these two weirdo magician dudes just were being weirdo magician dudes, got lucky for a long time, and then just ended up bonking the wrong
I
kitty
don't know,
cat?
dude. Like, there's been times where, like, I said the wrong thing to you, and you lashed out in a way where you're like, all right, that was a little bit much, and I've done the same thing to you. You're one of my best friends. You bonk me on the nose, I might fucking push you or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's just like, hey, man, don't bonk the strong-ass tiger.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get mad when it's not good at being a show business fella. Like, don't
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the same way with like I feel about like child actors of like, there's a line for sure. There's a way that we can have, because there's definitely a bunch of pussy ass tigers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's pussy ass tigers, there's pussy ass chimps, there's pussy ass whales. Like, these are the ones that we can have. They're still going to be impressive to us, but they can't make it in the wild.
That's such a funny description of an animal.
Pussy ass.
Fucking pussy ass. You can't even jump through the goddamn ring, you little pussy.
Yeah, you dumbass chimp.
Dumbass chimp. Oh, well, your mama still love you? I'm out here, no mama, fucking thriving with
Yeah.
these gay guys.
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, cool. This white tiger is all of a sudden going like, my mommy doesn't want me anymore. Okay, you're in the show, puss. So, like, yeah, you better learn how to jump through a hoop, and then you better learn how to take this little butt plug in here. I don't know. I honestly, at this point, I don't know of any particular cause,
Mhm.
or let's just say there's no motive aside from just tigers be tigering.
Yeah, it does. If I were to guess, I think they were actually probably doing a pretty good job raising the tiger. And I think with any of these animal attacks, you get a lot of these. It seems like you get a lot of these animals that are chilling, and then you just, you fucking look at them the wrong way,
Yeah.
and they're an animal.
Like, technically, if I remember correctly, that was the other thing I wanted to Google, was if I believe white tigers do not naturally occur in the wild, if I remember correctly. So, like, they're, like, so that's...
Would you who said that? Tiger Yakub? There's just a bunch of black Israelite tigers.
Yeah.
Like, actually, black tigers were the first to play hockey.
A tiger invented magic.
Actually, oh yeah, and then the white tigers took our magic.
I think it's like a thing genetically bred into the tiger.
Like how bulldogs don't exist in.
Yeah, it's like something like that. It's not
Like
naturally occurring.
what's the thing with bulldogs? It's like if we don't break their fucking jaw, they couldn't breathe.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like,
What a dumb animal.
the second bulldogs, I
Pussy
believe,
ass.
I think it's English bulldogs. The second they come into existence,
Gross.
you gotta fresh out the puss. They're something with their fucking face. You gotta break their nose or something.
You gotta mush him.
You just gotta go, hey,
Hey, breathe. Wait, stop breathing.
Yeah, you gotta like mush them a certain type of way, or else they will never be able to. I want one so bad,
It's
but
like one of those seals on the top of a the juice thing where you just gotta like pop it open, like
yeah, you're being funny, but like yeah,
Capri
kind
Sun,
of.
their nose like pop.
Like no, it's basically you gotta crack it like the ball in a Camel Crush.
Yeah.
No, and I want a pit bull or a bulldog so bad, but they're apparently one of the most expensive dogs on up. Their upkeep is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, because it's like a pug, who their face is flat, so they can't breathe properly.
Stupid dogs.
Now you don't like pugs?
I mean, if they can't breathe, I don't. You know.
All
what I
right,
mean?
I thought you'd identify with them.
No.
Fucking
Breathe right strips, baby.
yeah, that's what. Yeah, dude, you're a fucking bulldog.
Yeah.
You need.
I'm smarter than a bulldog.
You
'cause
need
nobody has
outside-
to break my face when I fucking. I'm
Hilarious brag. I'm actually smarter than a
born. I'm
bulldog.
actually I'm remarkably better than a bulldog.
I don't mean to brag, but actually kind of like.
If there's
smarter
a
than
pro and
bulldog.
cons list with me and a bulldog, I'm pretty sure I come out on top.
It'd be funny. There's that basically based off this conversation. I'm realizing there's a multiverse of two bulldogs doing a podcast where one bulldog.
for fucking humans.
They're just doing a podcast about human attacks.
You see that Vegas shooter?
There's this one bulldog being like, they never talk about
They
black
go,
on black crime.
They go, all right.
Just in a talks about black on black crime.
They go, all right, it's time to talk about that crazy attack in Vegas, the Vegas shooter. There was a bunch of these dumb humans are sitting there listening to music.
So yeah, I guess the verdict is, fair game on, or what am I trying to say? The verdict is sort of like Siegfried and Roy. They weren't up to hijinks. It's just, Tiger's gonna be a tiger after a certain point.
Yeah,
when you bonk them.
I think on the best, the magician is simply a carny. You know what I mean? Like, so there really is, like, much like the wrestler, I think it's bred in carny lore. So I think these are the highest caliber white trash magicians that really, really, truly, I think were the luckiest guys, or possibly most corrupt over this 30 years. But, like, if there's any audience member that went to see Siegfried and Roy in the time at Vegas that can report an incident where, like, people went, whoa! Like, I think at least that has to be, like, that's the kind of thing that we can go, like, oh, yeah, this was just a ticking. Because watching this, it's a ticking time bomb. But this was the best case scenario in any one of these animal attacks, because the let's just say supposed abuser of the animal was directly the one that got affected, and possibly, if it's being reported correctly, nobody else except for maybe that stupid little kid back in the day.
I will say this though,
And that fucking Chico.
I will say this though. The way you're telling this,
Yeah.
great PR for tigers. Because it'll be like,
Out of all the animals, they're probably the most reliable.
and honestly too, he got bonked. All he did was tell Roy to fuck off.
Knock it off.
In tiger terms, he just said fuck off.
Yeah, but then he's hey, there's people here, they want a show.
Yeah.
Let's give him some fireworks.
Yeah, dude, he's just like in a corner with four people around him with fire extinguishers. He's like, I just want to work. He's the one who bonked me. Yeah. I'm trying to work.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my show. It's not my problem. He's a fucking diva.
You hire me to be me, and when I am me, you fucking punish me for it.
Yeah, when fucking Jane's Addiction does it, it's cute and goes viral. But when he does it, we gotta lose the footage. Oh, there's a fun like recreation, like computer recreation online as well with it.
Oh, really?
It's pretty interesting. Of like, it's like it's almost like a training video meets one of those like Korean videos where they do that. Yeah, there he is. That's him. That's Montecore.
That's Montecore?
He's of Montecore. He came from his jizz. Stanley did.
Really?
I thought for sure he would be jumping on the table, so I guess he's too shy, but you know him. You love him. He's my boy.
It's a cute-ass cat.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank God he's not way bigger than that.
Yeah.
It's always the joke I
Yeah.
made. I go, bro, if bugs ever figure out how to get bigger, we're fucked.
Yeah, his way of playing with me, the thing that he enjoys doing, is biting me. He likes to like I'll give him my hand and I go like I play around like that, and he goes, Stanley. Every once in a while he'll do one of these things. It's so cute. He does this little exhale. He goes like this. He goes, and he like bites as hard as he can.
Yeah.
But like not breaking skin. But again, if he's a half a size bigger, like if he's
that's the thing.
The size of a fucking medium-sized dog, I'm dead.
Okay, so think about it. Outside of when you fuck with Stanley, how often does he attack you?
I mean, he, like I said, I call him Chomper Boy because he likes to chomp. But
is it like love? Is it like?
It's like most of the time it's him going like, he like.
Yeah, and
But he loves chomping.
Diesel does that. But no, like more or less, like he'll do a little nibble here and there. But like generally speaking, he's like
he would be dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, and but it's like you think about that, and then you make them into tiger size, and then you think about how much less you'd fuck with them.
Yeah,
it's honestly very conceivable that you could have a tiger for a really long time without something bad happening, and then it goes back to the thing we've been saying on all these. You lull yourself into a false sense of security, being like, I got it. I'm the Tiger Master. I'm the Tiger
Why
Queen.
wouldn't you? After 30 years, why not? Like,
yeah.
I mean, he somehow lured a cheetah out of the zoo into his ownership, onto his cruise ship, hey, wait in the room while I go fucking bellboy here. You own a cheetah. How is that not your life? And he's like, oh, there's a gay magician. I'll just go like, hey, why don't you think about having... The first person he tried to sell on this was like, I'll take it. They're like I wonder if he was just like, hey, this is a really nice boat, but like, you ever thought about having cheetahs on here? And the captain was like, no, that's a weird question.
You go to the
He's
captain.
Like, never mind. I'll see you later.
You go to the captain.
He's
you're
that's
like,
why you fucking asked.
You go to the captain. You're like, how many cheetahs does this thing hold? And he goes, the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, you don't have cheetahs? You haven't heard the news? Cheetahs are the craze nowadays. He's just out there trying to sell everybody on cheetahs. And the first dickhead gay German, I don't know what it is, how they met each other, or what the circumstances was. But if that is truly how they met, I gotta tell you, this is maybe the first case where I truly do believe they were meant to be gay tiger trainers in Las Vegas. Like that's exactly what they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And this is truly, aside from all the people that paid to see that guy mauled by his tiger, like they fucking nailed it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So like
I am also too
hats off.
I am. The more we do this, the more fascinated I am with the psyche of these people.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, why is not just watching? Like, dude, there's
the captain. Dude,
like when
the
you
captain
watch,
was the only person in their life that was like,
when
hey,
you watch,
what are you guys doing?
Like when you watch shit like what was the Netflix show, Chimp Empire?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you get these people. They embed themselves in there.
Yeah.
They show you this crazy high definition footage of chimps in their natural habitat and shit. I'm just amazed. I go, why is that not enough?
Yeah, like Jane
why
Goodall.
do you not? Yeah, why? Yeah, there's
see them.
There's
Go find
dorks
them.
already doing this for you.
Right.
Why do you need to be like, what if they jumped and flipped? And
what if
they jumped through a hoop?
Yeah, what if we had a whole... I remember them adding... And, like, that's the worst part. Is, like, it's at Universal, how they have, like, Universal stage shows of movie. They're like, the Indiana Stunt Spectacular. And you're just like... They're just like, whoa, is that the Temple of Doom? Whoa! And they just run. And it's like, they don't think about the... There's nothing there. The story and everything is just so stupid and cheesy. It's just...
You're watching the stunt stuff.
It's just show. Yeah, it's just it's just set up for them to go, oh, there's a boulder coming. And then like that's
But
him.
those are fun because you're like watching a show. It's this thing where you go, like these animals have a very well established habitat.
Yeah.
And they're like, what if we brought them into the middle of a city? You're like, that's not where they go.
It's not natural. That's what I'm saying. It's like the same thing of like, this is like, just do show. It's more fun for you in like regular ass clothes to show me the practical way that you guys coordinate the stunt than to try to make it a movie. Like, just go like, no, but it's like a show.
Yeah.
Like, no, we know, we liked the stunt. We saw it in the movie. We don't need you to.
Damn, I feel like everyone did that Indiana Jones one.
But that's what I'm saying.
I remember seeing that twice as a kid.
It's cool to see the stunts, but I don't need all the buildup. Like when you're on a ride or you're at one of the experiences, yeah, you want the thing. But like if the thing is we're going here because we know, like when you walk past this a couple times, you can hear them go like, "Oh, wait a minute, I completely forgot." You're like, it's just part of the show. He's saying it the exact same way. It's doing this. Just give us the stunts and break it down. I watched a horror movie effects class thing at Universal Studios. Way cooler because they actually just go like, "Oh, here's the scene, and here's how we would do that." Like, it was a little cooler. But when they started doing like the, hey, like they start cracking the stewardess jokes and shit like that, where they're just like, "Hey, whoa, it's crazy, blah blah blah," and you're just like, guys. Enough. I don't need to be entertained right now. I want to be. Yeah. I want to see the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
that shit's for kids though. The entertainment thing, because I remember.
Cool. I liked it a lot.
What?
I liked it.
No, you're not listening to me. I said
brain.
you are a retarded adult, so I don't know why you're getting so offended.
Special needs.
Fat and retarded.
Mom said special. Husky, not fat.
Pre-diabetic. But the
somewhat post.
No, I think all that is for the kids to kind of have like a little extra thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I actually talked about that at Roscoe's the other night. Of like, I talked about every time I go to the doctor, they go like, "Are you diabetic?" And I go, "No," and they're like, "We're gonna check." They always give me the face. I had to give that to my doctor recently, where they're like, I told him how I was eating, but then I told him like all the vitamins I take and everything. And he's like, "Yeah, it sounds like you're doing perfectly fine." And I was just like, "Check again."
Yeah.
Like, what are you? Hey, doctor, I'm going to get a second opinion because I think you're fucking lying. Yeah. There's no way my insides are okay.
Like, I don't think I have diabetes. I can get myself there probably pretty easily.
With the family, with the family history, yeah. My
dad
history.
has it. Yeah, my dad has it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and like, we're all fat. Like,
and
you know what I mean?
all of my toes are black.
And,
come on, Doc.
And I
wake up. My blood sugar tastes like maple syrup. My pee smells like maple syrup. Come on, doctor.
That's how Patrice's girl realized.
Yeah, the sweet smell.
Yeah. Like, your pee tastes good. That was on O&A. I'm not like speaking out of line.
Yeah.
But no, the fuck was I gonna say? Yeah, no, if I were to go to the doctor, I'd be like, "Hey, let's just make it a thing. You check every time."
Yeah. You get the name right? Yeah, can you just let me see that?
Why not?
Like there's a couple things where he's like, "Yeah, you're on the higher end of this." Like I'm like, "Okay, so am I healthy for or am I, you know what I'm saying? Like healthy for a fat piece of shit.
Am I a healthy fat?
Yeah. Am I like, well, you're on the high end of stuff, but you're not.
It's a great question to ask a doctor. Am I a healthy fat or an unhealthy skinny?
He gave me the technically healthy fat. Like, and I was just like, he's like, your good cholesterol's high. And he also told me there's a type of cholesterol that you can have. I think we talked about this around the time I went. That is actually helpful to prevent Alzheimer's.
Brother, I have
dementia.
no fucking clue about any of that shit. I went down a cholesterol rabbit hole oddly recently. And dude, any of that health
right before
shit,
you went to the gym.
It's what?
Yeah, right before you started going back to the gym. Probably. Yeah, it's weird how that adds up.
I'd be like, oh shit, I need to get this under control. No, the thing, like, whenever it comes to all that, like, health shit, to put stupidly, it literally just is like, dude, everything you find online, you can find just as many people being like, that guy's actually retarded.
Yeah.
It's actually the exact opposite. Yeah. So all I do is like, we all know when we're overeating, just chill the fuck out and just try to eat enough shit during the day that isn't a million different ingredients that fucking RFK Jr. wants to take out of the shit.
Or for people like us, just eat the amount that you're not ashamed to tell somebody you eat.
Dude,
like because that's the thing. If you go like,
hate how spot on you are.
Andy, ask me what I've had to eat the past couple of days.
What'd you have to eat the past couple of days?
I'd rather not say.
Yeah.
And if I'm not proud of it, it's bad.
Damn, dude, that's such a great way to put it. Because ask me what I ate the past couple of days.
What'd you have the past?
I'd rather not say.
Yeah. Hey, what do we eat when we were watching the last UFC pay-per-view? About 100 pizza rolls. about 100 pizza snacks.
And you know Kyle didn't get that many.
Did I say you, me, and Kyle, or did I say us?
You know.
You know, Kyle was like, "Hey guys, can I?" Oh,
It's
okay.
just us.
You guys making another bowl?
It's
Okay.
just us at the trough, and Kyle's like, "Hey, could I just get skinny ass?" Kyle's like, "Can I just get one?" We're like, "Arr, arr."
This one fell on the floor, and I already took a bite out of it.
Yeah, all the cheese oozed out of this one.
It's just a shell.
No, dude,
Yeah.
you know how bad my overeating is? A rule I implemented myself when I give myself my twice a day fast food treat. No, when I
Twice a day.
I'm just, yeah,
Mine's twice a meal. Well, I'm gonna get I got a Happy Meal. Oh, I got a Happy Meal the other day
dude. If I'm going
as
to
an appetizer. But look at this.
oh yeah, they're doing Pokemon.
A fucking Pikachu and a Charizard. I know that they're not the kind that I can sell to Jake Paul or anything, but
Yeah, we got to look at the. Sorry, I'm going into card mode. You got to look at the the classifier. These might actually. You should hold on to these.
I do. I think I am. I'm gonna keep this one and that one.
Nah, because
You want
they.
Jigglypuff?
What?
Here's Jigglypuff. You want
Don't do that to me. No, actually, you should keep those because they're not going to be worth anything now, but because they're promotional.
Should I have opened it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Just put it in
My butt.
your butt. Yeah, put it in your butt. No, if you just put it in like a nice case.
Yeah.
Because like those aren't going to be worth shit right now, but there's a chance when everyone else just like, you know, when actual kids buy the Happy Meals, they're going to like throw the cards away and stuff.
This is I'm sharing this, but I don't want to share this. But I was leaving Walmart and I was like, oh, they're doing that same thing. I was like, oh, they're doing Pokemon cards. That's pretty cool.
Wait, how like they have Pokemon cards?
It's a Happy Meal thing. So you get the Happy. So I was like, oh, I'll buy a Happy
Oh
Meal.
yeah, there's a McDonald's
At the Walmart. Yeah, when I was like walking out. So, but I had already talked about Dom. We were going to Whataburger for dinner. But I was like, but I want to get the Pokemon cards. So I was like, well, I gotta get a Happy Meal. So I just got a hamburger Happy Meal, and I had a double cheeseburger. I'm eating it in line at Whataburger.
No. Pat.
Yeah.
Wait, you ate the double cheeseburger?
I didn't drink the milk or eat the apple
No,
slices.
Pat. Pat. We're staying here.
Hamburger
Pat.
and a double cheeseburger.
You're not going to pretend to have ADD like you always do. We're
Yeah.
staying right here.
I'm giving you the details, brother.
No. The ball's in my court right now.
Walmart's here.
No, you're
McDonald's
in,
is here, and
you're in, Pat.
I
Please.
go to Whataburger here.
You're in line at Whataburger.
Same parking lot.
You're in line at Whataburger.
Yes.
And in your hand is a double cheeseburger from McDonald's.
In the drive-thru. I'm not a weirdo. I'm not eating it inside.
Oh, okay. That's why I had to clarify.
Okay.
Because I was like, dude, if you're inside eating that, that's insane.
No. I'm picking it up for her on the way home.
Sorry, that's why I got so serious. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to figure this out.
I'm standing in line at a Whataburger with holding a Happy Meal, just going like,
Yeah. Dude, my thing, and we can get out of here on this, but my thing that when I go to get fast food, the thing I do to remind myself to have self-control, and I'm not kidding,
Yeah.
this is also embarrassing. I think what I want to order, and I go, get half of that. And it's always a regular amount of food.
So I should have just gotten a hamburger Happy Meal to wait in Whataburger line. Not the double cheeseburger. That was where I went wrong.
Dude, I love Whataburger, but I gotta be honest, like I feel like they give you too much shit.
Yeah. No. No.
Every time I'm
Wait, you mean like attitude at the drive-thru box of like you again?
I did have a lady.
Like,
I
is this
did have
Pat? I'm like, no, this is Matt
I did have a lady yell at me recently.
at the drive-thru window.
Well, so I've been doing a little. I told you guys before. I do a little DoorDash here and there, and very often, Whataburger, you'll go to pick up the order, and they'll be like, "Oh, that order already got picked up," and you know, I'm going up to the drive-thru, and I go up and I go, oh yeah, I go up to the drive-thru, and then I go, hey, I'm picking up DoorDash for blah blah blah. And then the lady goes, you have to come inside and no, this is non-negotiable and da 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 da. And then she's like, and I just pause and I go, see you inside then.
Yeah.
Just like, the fuck was
I
that,
look
lady?
forward to talking to you in person in a little bit.
Yeah.
This is gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
But speaking of, we were talking about the pizza rolls at the UFC. We are going to be. There's one I wanted to tell you about. Michael Chandler's set to fight Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy
coming up.
Pimp.
I'm definitely going to be ordering that one. So if you want to come over to watch that,
When's that?
I think in March.
Oh, okay, cool.
Either March or maybe first week of April. I don't know. I have to double check. But like in like a month or so.
Yeah.
But there's that. And if you guys are interested, we were discussing the possibility of the next episode being us watching the Bryce Mitchell karate combat grappling pit submission tournament.
We were talking about doing like a live stream.
Yeah, weren't we talking about doing that? Do you want to do that? Like that being like, so if we're recording next week, we could do Drag the Lake first, and then if you want, we could do that. If you want to time it that way, I'm saying, we could do it at your house.
Is it happening next week?
Yeah, next Friday.
What
That's
time?
what I'm saying. It's the day that we record. I think Friday, 7. I think.
Oh, okay.
Did I send
So
that to
just
you? I think.
okay. Yeah, you know what? That'd be a good idea because then we can stream it live. We could do a little bit of pre-show and then watch it live, and we'll just kind of do it. We'll mainly
8
focus
p.m.
on that
Eastern.
one
So
fight.
7 for us, but 8 p.m. Eastern is when that event's supposed to happen. But he's fighting Barzile.
He's Israeli as shit, from what I've heard.
Israeli and Brazilian. So it's a 180-pound catchweight grappling match. It's a pit submission thing, but it's part of the Karate Combat KC 53 in Denver. And like I said, it's at 8 o'clock Eastern time, but it'll be 7 o'clock our time. At least is when the event starts. I don't know if that's not their particular fight, but that's when the event starts. So we can either do a little live stream if you want to join in. We can do it from your place. We can watch. It's on you. I think it's just on YouTube or something.
Okay.
It's like a free stream. So it's
All right,
not like
perfect. All right, that's a wonderful idea. I have to piss so bad.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching. We love you all.
Goodbye.